Sugar has been part of the human diet since olden times. It was introduced to the Western world by the Arabs, who brought both the plant and the knowledge for its cultivation to Sicily and Spain in the 8th and 9th centuries. However, sugar remained an expensive spice up until the 1800s, mainly due to the hassle involved in its production. But the Industrial Revolution changed all that, and now the industry is worth $67 billion. So how is it made? In the U.S., an estimated 55 to 60% of all the sugar produced comes from beets, while the remaining comes from sugar canes. Interestingly, both these sources require different climatic conditions to cultivate. Sugarcane is primarily grown in tropical and subtropical regions, while sugar beets are cultivated in temperate climates. The process begins with the selection of suitable land for cultivation. The land should have good drainage, access to water, and fertile soil. In the case of sugar, in the U.S., the harvesting of sugarcane is done through specialized machinery. Once the sugarcane is harvested, receiving table along with the soil and rock. But if it's to be ready for the next stage, it must be as clean as possible. For this purpose, the cane is fed into a belt conveyor that takes the cane through strong jets of water and combing drums to remove large amounts of rock, trash, and leaves. Then, the cane's hard structure is broken down inside a crusher, where rotating hammers break the cane into smaller pieces. The crushed cane is loaded into a milling tandem that's designed to extract the sweet juice from it. Inside the milling tandem, the crushed cane passes through a series of 5 or more mills. Large cylinders compress the cane fiber, removing as much juice as possible. The juice is then diverted into a channel away from the bagasse, the dried pulp left behind after the juice has been extracted. The leftover pulp or bagasse is not wasted and instead can be burnt as fuel. The process is supervised at each of the mills to ensure quality control. Finally, a vat collects the juice that flows from the top and bottom of the mills. Now that the juice has been successfully extracted from the sugarcane, it's time to process it. Not only ensures consistent quality, but helps optimize processing, determines sugar yield, sets fair prices, meets regulations, and aids in scientific research and development. The sugarcane juice then falls through a 10-meter-high tower as sulfur dioxide vapors rise through it. This process is known as sulfitation. This preserves the juice by inhibiting the growth of microorganisms and also balances the slightly acidic aspect of it. In a separate vat, workers add powdered lime to water, preparing a solution to which they will then add the juice. An agitator mixes the cane and lime juice for about 6 hours to complete the process called alkalization. This helps further regulate the juice's pH level and clarify it. In reaction to the lime, the juice color changes from brown to yellow. In a separate vat, workers add powdered lime to water, preparing a solution to which they will then add the juice. An agitator mixes the cane and lime. Although their names are interchangeably used, cement and concrete are entirely different products. In fact, cement is one of the primary raw materials used in the production of concrete, along with water and aggregate. The process of concrete making starts with making cement, the crucial binding material that holds the water and aggregates together in concrete. There are many different kinds of cement, but the most commonly used is ordinary Portland cement. It was named by its inventor as such because its color resembled the stone quarried on the Isle of Portland in Dorset, England. The primary raw materials used in cement production are limestone and clay. They're typically obtained from quarries by blasting or using heavy machinery to extract them from the Earth's crust. The extracted materials are transported to the crushing plant, where they are crushed into smaller pieces. The crushed limestone and clay are then mixed in appropriate proportions to form a raw meal. The raw meal is transferred to a mill, which consists of a large rotating cylinder. Inside the mill, the raw materials are ground into a fine powder. This grinding process enhances the efficacy of the subsequent chemical reactions and ensures the uniformity of the raw meal composition. The powdered raw meal is then heated in a preheated tower, where hot gases from the kiln are used to raise the temperature. As the raw meal moves through the preheater, it undergoes partial calcination, which means that some of the carbonates in the limestone decompose to form calcium oxide, lime.
What we eat, that is what our body is made of. Not only that, our mind is also made of it. Food has 3 parts to it. The grossest part of food is expelled as excreta. The subtler part goes to make our body, and the subtlest part goes to make the mind. Hence the Vedas say, Ahar Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhi. What you eat will impact how you think. So we are veritably what we eat. And that is why it is important to pay attention to the science of healthy diet. We may do all the yoga, pranayam, and exercises in the world. Yet, if we are not careful about what we eat, good health will still elude us. Many people approach this in a very casual manner. They eat whatever gratifies the palate. They are being eaten to enjoy the taste rather than for good health. And the consequences, they send our mind into a spin. The mind becomes ambitious for materialistic aspirations and desires. This is the mode of passion. Then there are foods in the mode of ignorance.